Got a nice piece of pork for tonight's stir fry. You look at the size and the price here. Pork is one of the most economical types of meat in my part of the world, and with this portion I will be producing an easy to prepare, simple but delicious pork, vegetable, and noodle stir fry in my carbon steel wok. I purchased my carbon steel wok about 7 months ago and been using it regularly ever since. There's a sense of accomplishment a person feels at becoming more competent with the wok. I had a recent commenter on one of my videos put it this way: where I definitely appreciate the sentiment, my reward comes from consistently producing delicious, flavorful food and seemingly getting better at it every time I use my wok. Today I'm going to use the aforementioned pork tenderloin with available vegetables and my preferred types of noodles. In this case I am using a half and half mix of Catelli whole wheat rotini and super green rotini, choosing this mix for its elevated fiber content and nutritional value. Where I have no qualms about and quite often do use traditional and rich pasta, I find myself more and more considering my nutritional needs. The first step in preparing this type of wok stir fry is preparing the meat. I like to slice the pork tenderloin first into 1.5-inch strips with the grain, and then against the grain into 1/4 inch thickness morsel-sized angled planks to ensure even cooking. The pork is then marinated with the following ingredients for about half an hour, which allows time to prepare the rest of the meal. Due to the fact that pork is not a particularly tough meat in need of much tenderizing, the marinating process is more to infuse the meat with flavor, but it will still bring the pork to a point where it melts in your mouth. We'll just put that aside. At this point I will set the noodle pot on boil, filled 2/3 with water and 2 to 3 tablespoons of olive oil. Then it is on to preparing the vegetables while the meat marinades. The rest of my setup you can see here includes a bowl to set the meat aside after cooking, and of course the wok itself. The vegetables are separated into 2 groups based on cooking time, with the snow peas added at the end just before the noodles for a couple of minutes. Carrot, radish, and celery. Green and red bell pepper with some red onion. With all of this now done, we can make the sauce. My stir-fry sauce is a hybrid recipe with elements taken from a number of YouTube videos that I've watched, with the final product refined through trial and error. Where I usually stick to a basic game plan, the availability of ingredients quite often results in substitutions being made. Today I happen to have 2 Chinese cooking sauces on hand, and I want to use up some Cajun-style grilling spice, but for the most part I stick to a soy sauce and oyster sauce base with mostly the same ingredients seen here. I'll post the ingredient list again before signing off. With all of the prep work done, the noodles now boiling and the sauce made, it's time to wok and roll. First into the heated wok is the marinated pork, and once it is cooked, we will set it aside. Next up are the denser vegetables, the carrot, radish, and celery combination, which we will give a few minutes head start on the softer bell peppers and onion. Once the second batch of vegetables is rolled in, we are just waiting to see the edges of the onions starting to become translucent before reintroducing the pork. Give this a minute or two, then roll in the snow peas for a couple of minutes of cooking. Now the noodles are folded in, and then finally the sauce. Give it a good toss, then turn the heat off while continuing to stir until the sauce thickens. This dish is great right after it's made, but seems to improve the next day as a leftover. And that is how we arrive at this delicious pork tenderloin wok stir-fry dish. Well, that's it for today. Thank you for watching, and as always, I hope to see you next time.
When the stars won't shine for you, and your dreams turn black and blue, on those dark nights you'll be alright, I'll be right there with you. Together we'll see it through. When the stars won't shine for you, and your dreams turn black and blue, on those dark nights you'll be alright, I'll be right there with you. Together we'll see it through.